Starting from Parsha Lech Lecha, at the beginning of the Parsha, when Hashem tells Avram Avinu to move away from his homeland and his parents' land and move to the land of Israel, it's really convenient the way the Parsha starts off. And I mean that because if you take a look at the psukim that come right before Parsha Lech Lecha, the very, very end of Parsha Noach, then the beginning of our Parsha actually seems quite strange. At the end of Parsha Noach, we meet Avram Avinu for the first time. Avram and his father Terach go on their way to the land of Canaan. They're traveling towards the land of Canaan, and then all of a sudden the story ends. And our Parsha starts. And it says, Hashem told to Avram, go to the land that I will show you. And it ends up that the land that Hashem tells Avram to go to is the exact same place that Avram himself was going to in the first place. This is really strange. Why would Hashem tell Avram to go to the place that he was going to in the first place? Why not just let him do it on his own? And if he's going there on his own, why does Hashem have to pipe up and tell him and give him a command? If you actually look closely at Avram's life, you'll find that there's something very special about this type of relationship with Hashem. In last week's Parsha, we met Noach. Noach, throughout the entire first half of the Parsha, is an obedient servant of Hashem. Everything that Hashem tells him to do, he follows. Hashem tells him to build an ark, Ken asa Noach. That's what he does. Kasher tziva Hashem, just as Hashem commanded him. Everything that happens is a reaction to a commandment that Hashem says. All of a sudden, we meet Avram Avinu, which lives in a very different type of relationship with Hashem. Not just a relationship of obedience, but a proactive relationship, where Avram is able to do Ratzon Hashem, the will of God, from his own volition in an own proactive way, where Avram Avinu doesn't just listen to the messages that Hashem gives him, but rather he looks around the world and he figures out what is needed, and then he goes and tries to change the world. And when we come to the beginning of Parshat Lech Lecha, the will of God and the will of Avram Avinu actually coincide. And that's where we begin this type of relationship. Before Parshat Lech Lecha, at the end of Parshat Noach, Avram Avinu was acting on his own. He was saying, you know what, this is what needs to be done in the world, and this is what I'm going to go do. In this week's Parsha, Hashem's commandments and Avram's proactive nature meet together, and it builds the relationship that is the foundation of Jewish life for all history to come. There's something even deeper. The Ramban at the beginning of this week's Parsha asks a very important question. He says, Avram, why was he chosen? What did he do? There's nothing other than that short story at the end of Noach that tells us anything about Avram Avinu. In the Parsha beforehand, when Noach is chosen to save the world, it tells us that Noach was an ish tzaddik, a righteous man. It doesn't tell us anything at all about Avram. The Zohar, and the Sfat Emin explaining this Zohar, brings a brilliant understanding to this idea. And he says that Avram Avinu was not actually chosen. So what happened? The Zohar tells us that at every day, at every moment, of every hour, to every individual in the world, Hashem says, Lech Lecha, go. What was special about Avraham was he was the first one that opened up his ears and listened. Hashem is calling on all of us at all times. The world around us, if we just spend a few moments looking at the world and trying to figure out what Hashem wants from us, what our purpose is, we will find it. The world needs us to be proactive about building a better world and bringing Hashem down to this world. That's what we have to be looking for. We don't need to be chosen, because really, Hashem has already chosen us already. What was special about Avraham Avinu was that he realized that he was chosen and that we are chosen, and he went along with what he felt had to be done. That's the beauty of Avraham Avinu, and that's the foundation for the Jewish people's relationship with Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.